Juicy. So today I am here with a different type of video, and so I decided, since I watch Empire, why not go ahead and review it, and maybe you guys are into Empire too. So if you like this video and you want me to go ahead and continue reviewing and doing recaps of these shows, then comment and let me know below, because I want to know if you guys like this. I'm trying something different out on my channel, so let me know. And also let me know whether there's stuff, shows, or whatever you want me to do recaps on, and I will do it for you. I am here to supply all your wants and needs. This is season 4, episode 10 of Empire, and it starts where it left off last time. So it was Cookie, Jamal, and Thirsty. They're all walking into Jamal's place, and they're all talking, and Jamal feels like he's a murderer. He feels really guilty because he killed Angelo. So Cookie and Thirsty are trying to tell him, like, yo, like, it's not your fault. It was self-defense. You had to do what you had to do. And he's just like, yo, like, I don't want to hear that, you know. And Thirsty's telling him, like, people consider you to be a hero. And he's like, yo, I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm no type of hero. Like, come on now. So Cookie tells Thirsty, like, yo, like, Lucius is missing. I haven't heard from him in a minute, and he sent me this text, and this text tells me he wants to get away for a little bit. And they're looking like, wait, what? That doesn't even sound nothing like Lucius. So he's like, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna look into it. He ends up going and he looks into it, and he finds out the last time anybody's seen, or his last whereabouts of Lucius, was when he went to the facility to see Andre. After that, it was like he disappeared. So he ended up seeing like surveillance footage showing that Claudia was inside the building, inside that same facility, pushing a wheelchair. So of course Cookie's like, oh, so he wanted to go with this bitch. Okay, really? Like, I see how it is. Like, I definitely get it. So he's like, you know, I'm gonna continue to check on this. You know, I'm gonna see if I can get in contact with some people for further information. So to pause right there with them, we get to Jamal. And so again, Jamal is like feeling some type of way. He is just being Mr. Antisocial, just sitting there in his living room, not being active, you know, being like depressed. And so Hakeem comes over, and yo, we saw like a more mature side of Hakeem. We've been seeing that a lot, like, since he had Bella, where he's been feeling and acting more mature. And so he tells him, like, yo, stop acting like a bitch, get up and do something, you know. And Jamal is just like, yo, like, I done killed this man, you know, and like pulling that trigger, and when you pull that trigger, that gun residue is always on your hand. There's no getting rid of that gunpowder. And like Hakeem is like, yo, you acting like me right now. Get that shit up. Get this shit together and stop acting like a little pussy. Like, get your ass up, get dressed, put on the Gucci's. We about to go. And so he ends up taking him to see Andre at this facility. Andre is getting ready to get out in a week. And they just had like a whole brother moment, like a bonding moment, okay? A bonding moment. And, you know, Jamal is just talking about how he feel, you know, being a killer. And Andre is just listening, Jamal is listening, and they're like, yo, like, you don't have to carry this burden on your own. We're here together. Let me help you. Like, I'll take some of the weight off your shoulders. We're brothers. We stick together. We're lions, you know. And so they all had their little moment, huggy duggy, kissy kissy, mwah mwah type mess, right? So then we get to Becky. Becky has to go to the bathroom. Portia comes in and is like, you going to the bathroom an awful lot, girl. Like, what's up? Are you pregnant? And, you know, Becky got this bag of like pregnancy tests, and she was like, well, there's no really way to know unless like I go to the doctor, and then I'll know for sure. And then Portia just looking at her like, bitch, nigga, you pregnant, okay? All them test results came back pregnant. So, bitch, you're pregnant. So Becky is just like, yo, like, this is not supposed to be me. Like, I didn't plan this. You know, I love my job. I'm doing everything that I wanted. Like, I was not supposed to be like one of these statistics. This is not what I had planned for my life. Now things has happened. So Portia's like, so what you gonna do? Well, Becky got to figure out what it is she's going to do, but she doesn't know what she's going to do yet. So yeah. So anyways, we get to a scene where it's Cookie and she has a flashback. And this flashback is when she was in jail, and her and some of the other inmates had created this plan to, you know, get rid of one of the police officers, you know. And so they all specifically had a part to play in this. Well, the day had come to put this plan in motion. And so everybody started off doing what they were supposed to do, causing a scene and, you know, this, that, and the other. And Cookie looks at one of the girls waiting for her to go, you know, do what she got to do. So now it became obvious, like, this girl is being a chicken, like she's scared, she's not about to do her part. So Cookie gets up and she starts walking towards that officer, and she looks back at old girl. Old girl just sitting there like looking, and Cookie is just waiting for this girl to, you know, do something. But no, old girl didn't do nothing. So Cookie was like, okay, like, the plan must go on. And so she went to go for this police officer, and that's when he turned around and the other police officers came and stuff like that, and they put her down, and she pulls out the little blade that she had in her mouth, and it's like she got a weapon. And they took her and put her into this room where she's like locked in there by herself in the dark. And yeah, then she ends up having another flashback to that same like situation, and she is in that room, and then the guard comes over and he starts talking to her about, oh, your husband Lucius Lyon is with Tanya, and you know, blah blah, just like saying what the article stated. And so she's just like, they're just looking a mess or whatever, and he tore the page out and throw it in there so she could read it or whatever. And then he was like, oh, you have family here. And then Cookie gets up like, Lucius, like, my husband here, see me, my baby. And she starts heading over to the door. And that's when old girl is the girl who like didn't hold her part of the deal, who comes, and she was like, yo, like, I had to do this, like I had to snitch because I have to think about my child, like my baby, and I'm trying to get out of here, you know, blah blah blah. And you know, Cookie, like, she was helping everybody, like, while she was in jail, like helping them get their kids back, helping them know exactly what steps to take, you know, for getting their children back, helping everybody in this place, you know. But she didn't want to hear what old girl had to say. And so then the girl, she leaves, and then the guard tells her, like, you have no family on the inside and you have none on the outside. It's just you. You're alone, you know. He's like a nigga. He's a bitch ass nigga. That's what he is. So anyways, we get back to with Lucius. Okay, let's talk about Lucius because I didn't talk about him at all yet. So Lucius is being held hostage into this house with Claudia, and she has him chained down to the piano, and she is literally torturing him. This bitch is crazy, okay? Like, clearly she suffered from some type of mental health as well. Like, she needs professional help, and I don't get how she's not committed at this point. So anyways, she chained him down, and you know, she has like on the ground like this red tape so she can know, like, yo, like, this is the furthest he can go, and if I go past this red tape, there's a chance that old boy can get me, you know, and do whatever it is that he needs to do, well, tries to do. So, you know, he's on this rant talking about like how he loved Cookie and not her, and you know, this, that, and the other. And Claudia's feeling some type of way at this point. So she ends up like, oh, I think you need to go back to sleep. And then she pulls out like this gun thingy and shoots it. It's like a dart that comes out, and it shoots him like in his chest. And it's just more medicine like that he has to take. So eventually when he wakes up, he's like, what is all that stuff? And she's like, oh, this is for my protection, and this is if you choose not to obey me or you don't take your medication and this, that, and the other. And you know, whatever. Next time we see him, he's playing the piano and Claudia is cleaning up. So he ends up stop playing the piano, and she goes, Dwight, what's wrong? Why'd you stop? And he's up here crying, and he's like, man, I'm so sorry. You know, I didn't mean to do that. Like, all my life I've been scared and afraid. And this is the first time, you know, being with you, I feel content. Like, I could finally be who I'm meant to be. And it's all because of you. And this bitch is falling for it. So she walks all the way over towards where he is. And she's like hugging him, and they cuddled up like, and she's like, it's okay. It's okay. I know you're not yourself, you know. And he's like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm sorry. And then he goes for her neck and starts choking her. And he's like, see, you must not know who I am, and, you know, all this stuff, like trying to kill her. And she ends up kicking him, like, in his balls. And then he fought, well, he's like, oh, like leaning over, and she falls on the ground or whatever. And so she's trying to escape, and he like grabs her and kept trying to pull her back, and she keeps trying to go forward. And then so she's trying to grab like this, it's like a surgical cord, like one of them outlets that got like all those little plugs. It's something like that, but you just turn the switch on and things happen, you know. So she ended up getting a hold of that. She turns the switch on, and like all of a sudden the room turns red and music started playing. He's like, what is this? Like, like, what is this? And she's like, this is your music layered together. And basically what this did was she created this like experiment. So when that loud music plays and he hears it, he is like, it's basically like a really, really, really bad migraine, you know. And she also use the drugs and stuff that she was providing him to like control him. She wanted full control of this dude, you know, and she was trying to do whatever she can to gain that control. And if he didn't follow directions, then he was going to be punished, and that was one of the ways that he was being punished. This bitch is psycho, okay? Stay away from Demi Moore. Like, I look at her completely different now because this bitch is crazy, clearly. So she goes, 5 minutes? I think so. So he was being punished for 5 minutes that way. So anyways, we get back to Cookie and Thirsty. So Thirsty ends up bringing this lady over who is a therapist, and she starts talking to him about like Claudia. So she confirms that Claudia is crazy. This is not her first time doing something like this. You know, she says that a while back Claudia had this patient and she helped him a lot. However, during her care, she had to move into the house with him. And basically, she was trying to interfere with this couple's marriage, like their relationship. And Cookie's like, it sounds familiar. This is exactly what this chick did to me. And they're like trying to find Lucius or whatever. Like, yo, like, where's Lucius at? And, you know, how can we get in contact with Claudia to see if he's with her? And so the lady mentions that there's this place that Claudia has, like upstate or whatever. And but that's it she could give them as far as information, because she felt like Claudia, she knows Claudia too well, and she didn't want to interfere with that situation. So she wanted to get in contact with Claudia herself and, you know, let her know, like, yo, I talked to Lucia's family. Lucia's family said that he is missing, you know, get some type of information. And they respected her on that. And so she went out, she left or whatever. A little while later, you know, they find out the address to this place up north where her father had owned, and Cookie's like, yo, okay, send me the address. I'm about to go up there. And so Cookie goes up there, you know, and she, Claudia looks and she goes, what is Cookie doing here? And Lucius like, he's happy because his woman that came to save his life, you know. So Claudia tells Lucius like, yo, like, don't say nothing. You better behave because if not, I will slice her throat. And so Cookie comes inside the house. Lucius is playing the piano. She goes up to Lucius like, Lucius, what are you doing? And Lucius is just like, yo, like, it's Dwight. Like, I did my part. I helped you out as far as the music and the company goes. Now I just have to, like, focus on me. And he's just playing this piano. And to me, like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, he is saying something through the music. You know, that's the way that Lucius know how to interpret things and, you know, give hints and signs is through the music. So Cookie's like, yo, we got work to do. There's things that we need to do. And Lucius is like, I am working on the music. And when he said that, he was playing the piano and the melody kind of changed, which was kind of giving a hint like, this bitch is crazy. Get me out of here. I'm in trouble. But Cookie wasn't picking up on that. So she's like, you know what? Forget it then. So she leaves, whatever. And Lucius is just like, yo, I just watched the love of my life like walk out of the door. But, you know, Demi is trying to convince this dude like he doesn't love Cookie, like he loves her, like she loves him, and she's doing this because she loves him that much, you know. So anyways, Cookie is driving, and then she has another flashback, and then the flashback, this time was when she was in jail, and they had finally took her out of that room, and the police officers, they was like holding her or whatever, and they ended up letting her go when she like fell over and she couldn't get up, she couldn't walk, she couldn't do nothing. It was like she can't even walk, you know, and they were making fun of her. And so all the inmates was like, you got this, Cookie, you can do this, you know. And so Cookie ended up getting up and she was walking, and she was like, nigga, get off me, like I don't need y'all holding me and carrying me, I got this, you know. And so then she just started thinking about like everything that Lucius had said to her when she was just at Claudia's place. And she's like, wait a minute. Finally, Cookie, you came into fucking reality. Like, you got it now. Now she know what's up. Like, this bitch done did something, and he was giving me hints through this music. So she turned around and she went back, and Lucius was being punished at this time. So the red light was on and the music was playing and everything, and then all of a sudden the power goes out, all that stopped, and she goes, thanks a lot, Dwight, now you caused me to blow a circus, blow a fuse or whatever she said. And so she was like, I need to go to the fuse box or whatever. So Cookie touched him, and then he's like, you scared me. And she's like, they're like, shh, shh, shh. And then she's like, come on, come on. And so he was like, I can't, like, she got me chained. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go see if I could get some type of help, like find something. So she's going, trying to find something, you know, and she turns the corner, it's dark, she feels like she can't go this way. That's when Claudia like busts her inside the head and then tie her down to the table. So now we're at this table, and Claudia's whole mission for this, you know, is that her goal is to convince Cookie that she doesn't really love him and Lucius doesn't love her. So she starts opening up a little bit, talking about, you know, Lucius and I, we slept together. He told me that he loved me. And then Cookie's like, oh, is this true? Really? And he was like, yeah, but that's because I thought it was you. And he was just talking about like how he was confused or whatever. And then, you know, they're going back and forth, and she's just talking about like how she sacrificed 17 years. And he was like, if I have to listen to you say how much you sacrificed for me and this family again, then I give Claudia permission to shoot me. And then, you know, they just kept going back and talking about like people who come into their presence who ended up dead. And so Claudia's like, wait, so everybody that you guys come across ends up dead? And they're like, yeah, you know. And she's like, that's not funny, because they up here laughing. Lucius and Cookie, they cracking up, you know. And Claudia's like, that is not funny. You guys are evil. And then she tells like Lucius like he doesn't love Cookie, you know. He loves the fact that she helped him, you know, build this empire or whatever, and Cookie doesn't love Lucius. And what she loves is the money, the fame, and that little thing that spins around, gold thing that spins around. And so Cookie's like, you know, we done been through a lot of stuff and everything, but I love Lucius. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the fame. I don't care about the company. Like, I love him. And, you know, Lucius is just happy because he's just hearing the words of joy, you know. And so at that point, there's a car door. And guess who's outside? The therapist. So the lady, Claudia, looks and she sees it's the therapist, and she goes like, yo, you gotta get out of here. I'm working. And then the therapist's like, oh, I need to come in. I need to talk to you. Like, Lucius' family is looking for him. Have you seen him? And, you know, and stuff. And then Claudia's still like, yo, like, you need to get out of here. And so at this point, like, the therapist knows something is up. So she's like, I am going inside. And so Claudia's like, I'll be damned, you ain't getting into my fucking house. So she grabs this like whole thing and like hits her in the head with it, and boom, that's the last time we see the therapist. So at that point, Claudia goes back into the house and sees that Cookie is not even there anymore. And she's like, where's Cookie at? So at that point, she cuts on the music and the red light thingy, and Lucius is like, ah. And then Cookie and Demi go back and forth. Cookie and Claudia, they're going back and forth, you know, fighting and everything. And it's starting to look like really bad. Like, I didn't think Claudia could fight like that. Like, I wasn't expecting that. So it's starting to look like, who the heck is going to win? Like, I have no idea. We think like Cookie going to win, but like, there's a possibility that she may not win, you know. So Lucius is trying to fight through this music so he can save Cookie, because, you know, clearly he would lay down his life for Cookie, you know, because that's the love of his life. So he's trying to get through and like save her. They end up really beating the hell out of Claudia. She's laying there on the floor, and Lucius is right there next to the saw. He grabs it, and, you know, Claudia's like, go ahead, do it. You know, you're a killer anyways. Go ahead and do it. Do what you usually do. So Lucius like, and he didn't even kill her. He just went on the side of her. Cookie like, what the hell you do that for? Why didn't you kill her? And he said it was because he didn't want to prove Claudia right. So at that point, they called the cops. Claudia got arrested, and, you know, that was that. That was the end of that episode. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen next week, next Wednesday with this, you know. I actually like this season. I pray that it's good, because last time it was good, but now it's starting to seem kind of boring again. Like, it's going back to being boring. I feel like it kind of would have been a tad bit better maybe if they extended Lucius going missing, you know, like maybe. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't too happy. It was okay. It was a good episode, but it wasn't like what I was hoping for, like what I was expecting of it. So yeah, that is it for this review, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next review.